good afternoon, happy January. It is so cold here in Massachusetts. It is 3 degrees. It is so freezing cold. So I've been in my sewing room finishing up the last of my Christmas presents. I had a lot to make this year, and unfortunately my husband ended up at the bottom of the barrel. So he got a little piece of fabric for Christmas. Everybody else got their gifts. So I made three items from this pattern, this Vogue pattern. It is 8964 for Christmas. It's a great pattern. I made for my husband and my son-in-law, I made basically version D and F of the pajamas, long pajama pants and a long sleeve shirt, and made a few details, changes. The bottoms of these pajamas are made like a really nice pair of high-end pajamas, which you would expect from a Vogue pattern. There is a thread. There is a button, interior button placket on the fly. There's a fly front, and then an interior button placket, and then a self-made drawstring with a little buttonhole, and then they are cut very straight and well cut for a pair of men's pajama bottoms. They're absolutely terrific. Now for the top, I'm going to model it for you. Hang on. So now here's my question. What earrings do you wear with men's pajamas? I'm not sure. So this is the top. Obviously it's too big for me. It's made for my husband. It has an embroidered pocket with a great taffeta lining detail, and then I did straight detail trim on the front placket here, and then there's two lined patch pockets down at the side. All right, before I sit down again, I just wanted to show you what I'm wearing. This is a jersey knit t-shirt from its Silhouette Patterns. It's the sweater set pattern. It's just got a little fold over elastic notch on it, but it's super comfy. And then since it's chilly today in my studio, this is my new favorite jacket. It's a cabbie clothing jacket, and it's from their new line, their fall line, and it has, it's in khaki, it has some embroidery on it, and then a nice little bird on the back. I absolutely love it. Just enough to keep me warm while I'm sewing and not to get overheated. The jacket, yeah, the pajama top, I mean, it's fabulous. It's everything that you would expect from a Vogue pattern. It has a really nice detail. The collar is beautifully made. I added a patch pocket because my girlfriend has a Janome embroidery machine. So she did embroidery for each one of the pieces that I made for Christmas. And then on Christmas, I did a little taffeta trim across the top. And I did the edge of this trim. I folded it over before I turned the pocket around. I also added the taffeta trim down the front of the pajama top, but I didn't finish off the edge up here, which was my fault. It's not the fault of the pattern. I should have finished it off before I folded in the facing, because then it got rounded edge. But it's super well made. It calls for interfacing on the facing, and I did a nylon jersey tricot fusible interfacing, and it just gives it enough little stiffness. It fits him great. There's a lot of top stitching detail, which you can't see because this is so dark, but it really adds to the structure. There's a top stitching detail on the shoulder, and then another top stitching detail on the top of the sleeve. So it gives it some structure without having a lot of underpinnings. So it's great. A beautiful pattern, looks great on him. He's a little camera shy, so he won't come and have his picture taken. The other item that I made on this pattern is I made view B for my brother-in-law. Now he is a journalist in London and works for one of the major rags over there, and so I made him a smoking jacket style. It's cut a little shorter, maybe about to the fingertips, and I will add a picture in. It'll probably be at the end of the feed, but instead of doing a self-facing and doing a contrasting trim, I actually used the lining, and it really looks like a smoking jacket. And I found a smoking jacket. Let me just make sure I get the right. It's called the Leading Man Smoking Jacket, and I found it on Nordstrom's website, and that's the jacket that I used as an inspiration for the smoking jacket for my brother-in-law, and it came out really great. I did the line. It's completely lined. It's a very similar fabric to this Tencel, but it's a little bit heavier because it's a robe, and it's completely lined. So there's a fold over on the pockets with the lining, and then all of this shawl collar, the lining is turned out. Instead of using a self-facing, I used the lining. And then because I didn't really know about the fit, I made the sleeves long so you could turn them back and you could see the lining underneath. So it really gives it that smoking jacket look, but it also saved me from making the sleeves too short or too long. So that worked out really well. And I have to say, all in all, I thought it was a great pattern. I have any more notes down here. Let me just look at them to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But I think that's it. I think that's it. It didn't take me that long. So it didn't take me that long to make them. They went up pretty quickly, especially because the fabric was cotton and it actually, you know, presses well and it sews beautifully. And because it has that Tencel and a little bit of texture, you don't need a lot of pins because you can kind of like smush the seams together and then they stay put. So that there was no slipping and sliding, so that worked out really well. So that is my review of a Vogue 8964. I finally finished all my Christmas presents. Today is January 5th, so that's not too bad. I got them all done, but I would highly recommend if you want to make a really nice pair of men's pajamas, this would be the pattern to use.